seems that youth today are distracted with sex and money, and they don't have enough energy. They're just addicted to pornography or any other kinds of titillation of the eyes or the ears. People are addicted to their senses. The other one is that they're addicted to money because they don't feel any safety in this world. They don't have a network of people who will catch them if they fall. So they're so scared to even try making money. They say, let me do the safest thing and go find a job and put my head in there. That'll kill Gen Z because you guys are not meant for this. You're not meant for this education system. You can see it breaking all around you. You're coming out unskilled. You've seen your elder brothers do it and your elder sisters do it. And you've seen your parents go through the whole thing. And you're thinking, is this also my destiny? How much energy should I have to do something big? The Tibetans have known it, the Indians have known it, the Chinese have known it. It's there in all our martial arts. This is the one technique you need to do out in the sun. Namaste. This is Guru Pashupati. And I want to tell you about something that happened when I was 8 years old. I was visited by Ma Kali. And she took me every day for 4 years to a graveyard where I practiced Aghor sadhana. And that's how my spiritual journey started. With a lot of adventures, I arrived at the place where I am now. I'm almost 50 years old. But now I'm teaching people how to connect with spiritual, divine energy and then change your life. Well, this sounds like every new age thing that we do. This is based in the Puranas and the Vedas. That's the difference. And then we got a real authentic source to draw from. I learned this from my guru, Mahatar Babaji. And we also run a popular YouTube channel, and it's called Guru Pashupati. And many people are benefiting from the problems that we're solving on that channel for people for free. So that's my work. When we talk about spirituality, everybody's got an idea of what it is. But when I went to my teacher, Mahatar Babaji, I totally, completely changed my understanding of what is spirituality. Earlier I thought Dharma, Arth, Kam, Moksha. Dharma means duty. Arth means money. Kam means desire. And Moksha means something that happens after death, where you don't have to be born again. This is what I thought. This is what everybody thinks. But my guru corrected me. He said, this is wrong spirituality. This is what people have been teaching you to become weak. This is called Mrita Darshana. He called it Mrita Darshana, which means the philosophy of death. And then he said, on the other hand, is the Amrita Darshana, the philosophy of life, is the same Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, but you really have to understand the meaning. Dharma means values, morals, and manners. How you show up in the world and how you behave. Everything is governed by Dharma. There's a dharmic way to behave and there's an adharmic way to behave. So you have to know which one you're on. There's a good way to behave and an evil way to behave. So you have to know what you are doing. What is evil? I asked him. He said, this is just a reduction of energy. I said, why is reduction of energy evil? Shouldn't everything just disintegrate and die? And he put his hand on his hip and he said, why? Why should anything disintegrate and die? And I said, that's what they told me, that Vishnu will maintain sthiti and then Shiva will kill everything. That's what I learned. Then he came up with this word, Thames Nadi Avidya Mandir. And I was like, what is that? He said, the British people have invented your education system to make educated slaves out of you. And that's what is happening when you go through that system. And I was like, that's absolutely right. And I agree with him. And I was suffocated by the system. I said, you're preaching to the choir. I already know this. And then he said, now you have a name for it. He said, that's your enemy. You need to get that out of people's brain because it's stuck there and that's limiting their thinking. So that's how I define spirituality, to open your thinking, to open your mind, to see possibilities beyond what you could have ever imagined would be possible and bring them all into reality, not by yourself. Because the most spiritual thing is to be in a tribe of spiritual people. That's what he told me, and that's how I was when I was in the mountains with him. And I agreed. I said, we have to build this. So it's been a year and a half, I think, and we've built a spiritual ecosystem real fast. And the kind of mushrooming that's happening of sheer entrepreneurship, ideas, and enthusiasm, led by so many of my generals in the war against Thames Nadi, my acharyas, we're able to really launch a full-fledged attack on Thames Nadi ideas. We're able to tell people how to think of the Amrita Darshana. Now, let me give you details. Morals, values, and manners is Dharma. New definition, but this is the immortal philosophy definition. And then you have Artha. Artha means the wealth of people who care about you. Because that's where wealth comes from. No? Yeah, my teacher asked me, where do you think wealth comes from? I said, from Lakshmi. He said, no, it comes from other people's bank accounts. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's correct. That's very practical. I said, yeah, that's right. So what are you saying? He said, your relationship with other people makes them put money into your bank account because you've been of so much benefit to them. They're so grateful they want to put money into your account. That's called business. I said, that's not how we do business. He said, that's how Thames Nadi does business. You force people to buy things that they don't want. But how you do business is you make people so grateful that they come and pitch in their life force, which is their money, into things that you want to do. Because they see such a big vision of being able to influence the history of the world, not just some small thing. Okay? I'm tired of small things. And so should you be. Because everything that you aspire to is so small that you can't get excited enough to do it. So why don't you get together with your friends and aspire to something big? This is what I want to tell the youth of today. You want to stay youthful? Get together with your friends and resolve to be youthful. Learn the ways. Because yoga sahi hoga. It seems that youth today are distracted with sex and money, and they don't have enough energy because these two things are taking all their energy. They're just addicted to pornography or any other kinds of titillation of the eyes or the ears, basically sensuous stuff. People are addicted to their senses. And the other one is that they're addicted to money because they don't feel any safety in this world. They don't have a network of people who will catch them if they fall. So they're so scared to even try making money. They say, let me do the safest thing and go find a job and put my head in there. That'll kill Gen Z if you do that. Because you guys are not meant for this. You're not meant for this education system. You can see it breaking all around you. You're coming out unskilled. You've seen your elder brothers do it and your elder sisters do it. And you've seen your parents go through the whole thing. And you're thinking, is this also my destiny? Well, no, it's not. No more, because there's the Mahakumbh that is happening. And this is a meeting of time. Now, let me tell you, we all have our individual destinies, but the whole race of human beings has a destiny, a collective destiny of all human beings. Like, for example, COVID. It was a collective destiny of all human beings. Like an election in a country, it's a collective destiny of all human beings. Like war. So you find a lot of human beings getting together. That's, in yoga, we call that, in astrology also, Kal Purush. So Kal Purush is now the sun. Wherever the sun goes, the destiny of humans will change. And now the destiny, the sun has come into Kumbh Rashi, along with Guru, which is Jupiter. Guru is the teacher, and sun is the energy. Gayatri Devi. That's it. She is the 5 elements. This is the time where there will be a big rise in people's energy to learn. So we're in a very sacred time right now as we shoot this podcast. It's like one of the most amazing times. And Kumbh Rashi is starting soon. And that's because the sun is going to enter it. So when the sun enters Kumbh Rashi, which will happen around February 15th of 2025. And from then, there's going to be a surge in energy. And you'll have to know what to do with it. Don't waste it. Because if you feel your energy surging and you put it all into your addictions, you're going to lose everything you got. Your porn addiction for men is especially bad. Because every time you ejaculate, you lose a lot of minerals and you lose a lot of vital electrons. You lose a lot of vital electrons, your voltage comes down. And you know that, you feel exhausted after that. So you've got to learn. A compulsory skill for all young men is edging. You have to learn it. Because if you learn it, then it's okay for you to ejaculate like once in a month or twice in a month, but not more than that. The rest of it you got to keep, because that's called virya in yoga. You need to have that virya within you. Women lose it in their stories. So a lot of them are not seeing any security, and so they're making up a story of security. And in order to maintain that illusion, she's spending a lot of energy. So that's typically how women can lose, but men can do that too, and women can exhaust themselves with porn too. So it's like really vicious addiction, because you have energy and you don't know what to do with it. So don't do that. You need to rechannel it. You need to learn to keep it in your body. You need to learn to radiate it and build energy fields. Okay. So all this is happening in yoga, and that's my message. I'm like, learn yoga, and that's the revolution that the whole country needs, for people to learn yoga. There are people in their 20s who don't have the energy that I have, because I'm training for the Ironman. And it's not easy by any chance, right? And I'm not training alone. I'm training my whole tribe. We got to do it. So I don't know how long it takes, but I'm training and I'm training. I'm getting tougher and tougher and tougher, and I'm able to do it. And I'm 49. I'm going to be 50. So I think that we should really think of things that we can do with that big energy. Think about it right now. Because when you think about it right now, you become open to receiving it. And that's really what you want to do. How much energy should I have to do something big? You can't stand anymore. Look, I'm on my toes already when I think of my goals. Okay, that's how you got to be. You got to have the springiness in you. You got to be like really also mobile in your mind, just like you are in your body. You need to be fast. So that's why I think another thing that young people should practice is martial arts. I'm still setting it up, so hang on. When it's done, it's going to be a warrior Gurukulam. So that's what I'm up to right now. Now, how to stop all these addictions, how to stop all these obstacles that you keep making for yourself. Your own lack of energy, your lack of motivation, all of that. How to stop going on accepting things which you don't agree with. Your morals don't agree and still you do it. How to stop all that? You need to build your energy, not lose it. And the best way for you to build your energy, believe it or not, is to go into the sun, stand with your hands out, and rotate this way, okay? Left to right. Just go like this. Easy rotation. Like this, smoothly, as smoothly as you can, okay? Like this, like real smooth. Okay? And try not to get your head spinning after you do 33 of these. 33. You do this, keep counting. 1, 2, 3. After 33, when you stop, you should even stop your head from spinning. Take 2 minutes, use your breath to stop your head from spinning. If you use your breath to stop your head from spinning, then you're free. Because every time your head spins with something, you can use your breath and make yourself focused. So learn breath control, because breath controls prana. And so you have to give yourself a challenge and use your breath to control nervous activity in your brain due to different chemicals being released at this point of time. Nobody studied it, but the Tibetans have known it, the Indians have known it, the Chinese have known it. It's there in all our martial arts. This is the one technique you need to do out in the sun, not inside, not indoors, not under artificial light. Do this early in the morning, looking at the sun. Boom, boom, boom. Each time you turn, you look at the sun. And you will see that suddenly you'll have energy. You want more energy, do it once again. Okay? There's also something I recommend, which is to do the wrestlers' exercises, like squat, and you know how they do that? Dand Baitak. Look it up. This thing, if you do, start with 10 per day. As soon as the sun comes up, after you do the rotation, you do that. You're going to feel like a different person in 10 days. So this is the challenge I give you. Do 10 dand baithaks, do 10 rotations. I have videos about this on my channel, so we can probably link it. And if you do these two things, just this routine, you're going to have so much energy. You're going to be like, what do I do with all my energy? That's when you spend in something called thinking time. Think, what the hell am I doing here? Just think about it. And just think that, what the hell am I doing in my life? Okay? I want all young people to do this, because if you do this and you sit quietly, you learn to sit quietly with all that energy, you'll be like, I want to build something that's so fabulous and organic and just out of my reach. I don't want to be the one building it. I want a whole lot of people building it with me. And that's when you make a monument. And that's what we want from each one of you, to create monuments, to create change, service, care, community, culture, peace, and love in society. There's only one way to do it. Discard all the selfish agenda. Discard all the selfless agenda also. Both are bullshit. The only agenda that's good is symbiosis, which means we are part of an ecosystem. My work helps you, your work helps them, their work helps someone else, and so on and so forth. It's a big closed circle, a unit. That ball gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger in connections. You got to see this. You got to see that one person can influence crores of people. And that's what you got to see. That's what they've told you is not possible. And when I say it, people are like, disbelief. What, me change the world? No, don't be that guy. Think about it. I'm speaking with a lot of passion because I want you to hear this. And I can't emphasize enough how you will look when you come to my age if you don't listen to me now. You will not look like a tiger. You will not look like you can leap off stage and then cut someone's throat. Because you have to have that agility and that energy and that presence and that crackling electricity about you when you go about your work, when you go about your day, when you go about thinking, and you sit like a yogi and meditate. Whatever you concentrate upon, you'll become that. So concentrate on good things, concentrate on good people, concentrate on heroic people. Don't fill yourself with stories of non-heroic people. Fill yourself with stories of heroes whom you admire. Who's your hero? Say, that hero, I'm going to do 10 times what he did. That's what you do. Even if your hero is Sri Ram, you have to think like that, okay? You have to think, I'm going to do 10 times more than this because it's Kali Yuga and I can do it fast. That's what I tell myself. I'm going to do it. So that is the software you need to keep inside yourself. Even carefully read all the Puranas. Every story people have told you is wrong. Most of them, they're all disempowering stuff that they come and tell you. For example, in the Puranas, Devi says that women are equipped with all of these bad qualities. And she makes a list of the bad qualities. But she never said it's bad. We assume that these are bad. Like Anruta means misrepresenting the truth. By creating a different reality of themselves. It's a weapon. These are the weapons given to women by Devi. Now, I teach my students how to use them as a weapon, how to protect yourself with just these things, confuse the hell out of people and be a real life Maya. Okay? So my student, Kendra Maya, she's teaching this. She's teaching women how to be a Maya, how to use these weapons like a warrior and protect yourself. And there's so many like that. There's just so many. So there are secrets. Then Brahma talks about the 12 anjanas, the things that you should totally avoid, the spots in your character that you should avoid. Like nobody knows about it. They don't know where to go for their morals. How should my morals be? If you read it in the Kalika Puran, Brahma tells Shiva, what are the 12 anjanas? And he said, you've got one of them, which is called grief. So you need to come out of this shokha. You need to come out of it. And he tells him the way to come out of it is the same way to come out of any Anjana. So all the mental problems are listed there, 1 to 12. You see, and you'll be like, oh, I got 3 also, I got 6 also, I got 7 also. Okay, so I made a video about this as well. And so when you get into these deeper meanings, you'll see that my story can be fabulous because my ancestors are equipping me with tools. Tools upon tools upon tools upon tools. And it's not restricted only to Bharat. I teach students all over the world. And I think it's important that everybody in the world gets this knowledge of how to be a righteous human being, how to create a network and a wealth of people. And karma clearly is sex, which nobody wants to talk about, as if it doesn't exist. How many of you did your parents tell you about sex? Very few. For most of us, we found out from porn. For most of us, we were educated about it by somebody and their stories. And it's so unrealistic because when, at least in the boys' school, when they tell stories to each other about sexual encounters, there's so much massive exaggeration that the other boys think that's how it works. That this whole chemistry, that's how it works. So all the boys are busy laying it out thick. But when you read the Puranas, you understand Shiva never ran after Parvati. That's the maleness, the stability. You go running after a woman, she's like, you're become like me, flowing. You're not attractive anymore. Like, I'll have to flow with you like a sister. I don't want that. I'm not feeling sexual anymore, she says. And this is something you have to notice, okay? Don't say I said it. I read it in the Puranas and I checked it in real life and it's the same. So do your own NS21 experiment and check whether what I'm saying is real or not. Every time you go begging and you show up sorry, you're not like Shiva anymore. You lost that quality. So if you want to know how Shiva acts, then you have to read the Purans. Now, the ladies might want to know how Devi acts. And how does she create Maya? How does she create the environment? She creates everything for what? It's that sexual energy. Nobody wants to talk about it. But that's how we attract anything, even a fortune. That's how we attract health. That's how we attract a human being as well. So in Kama, it's the science of Kamdev. It's not Kama Sutra, but it's the science of Kamdev that you learn the art of mating. And that is so important to have a cultured offspring. And that is so important for the next step, which is moksha. And my guru shockingly described it as immortality. He said, this is what it is. I said, isn't it liberation from life and death? He said, yeah, it is. Immortality is liberation from life and death. But when you're alive, you don't get liberated from death by dying, is what he explained to me. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. So, but then isn't it ridiculous? Like, don't we all have to grow old and die? And he says, no, not if you're healing faster than your cells decay. If your cells decay, it means they've lost energy, they've lost voltage. But if your cells are at high voltage, like minus 200 millivolts, you're practically immortal. If it's less than maybe 50 millivolts, minus 50 millivolts across each cell, then it comes down to normal people who will age. But then it comes down to minus 20, then the person is sick. There's a book written about it too. It's called Healing as Voltage, if you want to read more about it. So Babaji taught me about the voltage even before I read the book. And that's how I'm able to heal people. So when we are the lowest of the low and our ego is not high, we can connect directly to the highest of the high, which is God. That's the bolts of lightning which come down into human beings who learn culture, morals, and who learn manners and who learn values. Those people, it becomes a cascade all the way to the end where you become immortal and you have people who love you and you have a tribe. So that's spirituality. So when you're looking out to know what you want to be in life, what you want to do, where you want to go next, you have to always start with Dharma, which is learning manners, morals, values. Start to sit and have some thinking time. This is how it happens. You can read about it. I'm writing articles about it. I'm making videos about it. So just follow me and you'll understand how to find your dharma. That's the most important thing. You should be deciding your morals, not anybody else, right? You should be deciding your morals. So, dharma. And all you need to do is, if you're able to define it in a functional way that your heart agrees with everything. Your heart says, okay for this, okay for this, okay for this. There's no like half okay. It's almost okay. There are some things I want to change. Your heart has to say a full yes. When your heart says yes, it opens your energy. If your heart is closed, you will have to put effort. Why can't someone lose weight? Because the heart is closed to the idea of being a sexy person. So just cannot see themselves. The heart is not big enough to see that. They don't have energy enough to see that. Okay? That's all it is. Why is a person poor? His heart doesn't have enough energy to see himself as rich. And that's all it is. Why are rich people smarter than poor people? Not really. We have the same brain, but using it in opposite directions. One is using it to earn money, and the other is using it to resist money. And sometimes they make that immoral. A lot of people say money is immoral. A lot of people say sex is immoral. A lot of people say all the things that you enjoy are immoral. And they'll keep telling you this. But that's not what my guru taught, because this is life-affirming teachings, which makes you live forever. So you'd live as if you're going to live forever. I believe Gandhi also said that, but he didn't say the next thing, which is get skilled at it. So that's the first step. And then once you got that sorted, everything else falls in place. To the person with the noblest manners, everyone is attracted. And then things become easy for you. Everything gets attracted to you. You sit there and things come to you just by how you communicate with people around you. That's how the change has to be. Grow like a tree. Don't keep displacing yourself and becoming somebody you're not. You already are somebody. This is what everyone needs to hear. You already are somebody. You just need to discover it. You need to spend thinking time. Nobody is a nobody. This is what I believe, and this is what I've seen in my students. They're awakening. That's what we want to see in the world. Not obscured by some weird terminology like Kundalini or chakras. Don't get into that shit. But really understand how to deal with raw energy.